Hi everyone, welcome back to Islam Unboxed. Today I will be talking about Kevin Omar Mohammed. I don't know, maybe some of you remember I talked about him last year. He was arrested by RCMP for having smartphone. He was arrested by RCMP because he had a smartphone. It turned out he was in prison for a few years on terrorism charges, and one of the conditions of his release was not to have smartphones. Let us read the news. This at the time they didn't say a lot of details. This was last year in August. Now today, this morning, the news came out about him. Actually, a Muslim guy at work showed me this. Alright, Toronto man caught with bomb making manuals and Al Qaeda literature on phones, documents allege. Okay, so 6 months after Kevin Omar Mohammad's prison sentence for terrorism came to an end, the RCMP's Toronto OINSET National Security Team decided to check up on him. What they found set off alarms. Not only was he violating his probation by using a smartphone, he downloaded Al Qaeda literature, manuals on bombs and poisons, and a tract justifying the killing of women and children. Wow. Last year, the last debate I had with him was almost 4 hours in the car in front of his house, somewhere in GTA, Greater Toronto area. I was in front of his house. Well, he lives with his parents and brother, right? I was there. If if you see him, you're not gonna think he's a violent person. You won't know. Despite of his look with beard and stuff, but he's a very soft-spoken. He's a very soft-spoken person. People at work had hard time believing this last year. I don't know if they see this news today because this came out this morning. So he was meeting with a guy named Daniel Cosnud, another former inmate who had a history of violence and whose phone contained more than 200 Taliban, ISIS, and Al Qaeda videos, as well as bomb making guides. This him, and on the left, Daniel Cosnud. So, the difference between Daniel Cosnud and Kevin Omar Mohammed is this. Daniel Cosnud is more into Taliban. He said Taliban is the true Islamic force. We will die for our cause. We will never give up. People might not like us, but we will force them to respect us. We are a force to be reckoned with. We are not scared of death. We are ready to take on the whole world. Islam will dominate the whole world. The world and which is on our prophecies. Now, Kevin, he went to Syria to join Al Qaeda faction. It's called Jabhat al Nusra. Jabhat al Nusra is an offshoot of Al Qaeda in Syria. So people may wonder why A nice guy like Kevin, he was he went to University of Waterloo. He didn't finish, but anyway, he's not a stupid guy. How come? Some Muslims ask me, Daniel, how come? I said to them, I told you how come. Why? And now I will tell you who listen to this, who are listening to me now. Again, it is not the people. It is the book they follow. That is the problem. Let us read from what they call the Noble Quran. Surah An-Nisa, verse 95 to 96. Let me set up. Sorry, it is, I don't know why. I will try to make it easier to read. Verse 95. All right. Let's read Yusuf Ali version. Not equal are those believers who sit at home and receive no hurt, and those who strive and fight in the cause of Allah with their goods and their persons. Allah hath granted a great hire to those who strive and fight with their goods and persons than to those who sit at home. Unto all, in faith, hath Allah promised good. But those who strive and fight hath He distinguished above those who sit at home by a special reward. So Allah will give reward to anyone who are a Muslim, who is a Muslim. But Allah distinguished a Muslim from another, one Muslim to another Muslim. How? If you are sitting at home, not doing anything, you may be doing your zakat, charity, you may be doing your salah or praying 5 times a day and go to mosque every Friday doing your Jummah. But if you're not fighting in the way of Allah, in the cause of Allah, then you are less than those who fight in the cause of Allah. Right? Now, 96. High ranks conferred by Him as well forgiveness and mercy. God is more, for Allah is oft forgiving and most merciful. Ranks specially bestowed by Him. So there are ranks. If you give your body and your possession, your ranks go higher. This, this, that's how Allah uh, get Muslims to fight for Him. You know, by promising ranks. Now we can read Surah An-Nisa, another one, verse 76. Another one. Okay, this is not. I don't know why the translations are all different, but anyway. All right. Where's Yusuf Ali? Let's go. Those who believe fight in the cause of Allah, and those who reject faith fight in the cause of evil. So fight you against the friends of Satan. Feeble indeed is the cunning of Satan. So again, Allah wants Muslims to fight in His cause. Now, before I go there, Kevin Omar Mohammed and Daniel Kosner, they're thinking of making bombs and poison to for why? Why? People, nobody bother them, nobody, persecute them, but they want to kill people. Why? Because they want to bring terror. Now, they only follow what their quote unquote good book says. Let us read Surah Al Imran, Quran chapter 3, verse 151. Okay, we just go with usually. There you go. This one. Soon shall we cast terror in their hearts of the unbelievers, for that they join the companions of Allah with Allah, for which he had sent no authority. Thereabout will be the fire, and evil is the home of the wrongdoers. Again, soon shall we cast terror. Whoops. Pardon me, I don't know what I click. So again, terror. There you go. Cast terror. Are Allah casting terror in the hearts of the unbelievers? Surah Al-Anfal, Quran chapter 8, verse 20. Sorry, not verse 20, verse 60. Against them, make ready your strength to the utmost of your power, including steeds of war, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of Allah and your enemies, and others beside, whom you may not know, but whom Allah doth do know. Whatever you shall spend in the cause of Allah shall be repaid unto you, and you shall not be treated unjustly. Yusuf Ali. So whatever you can, do whatever you can to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies. And the craziest part is into the heart of the enemies of Allah and your enemies. So not necessarily Allah's enemies, but your enemies and others whom you may not know. Even the enemies you don't know, you must strike terror into their hearts. Unbelievable, right? But this Quran, this Allah wants to send terror into the hearts of the disbelievers. So now, if you do not believe in Allah, or those people at the time, they did not believe in Allah, so Muhammad strike terror into their hearts. Now, let us read Surah At-Tawbah. Verse 5. This is the most famous verse. Yusuf Ali. But when the forbidden months are past, then fight and slay the pagans wherever you find them, and seize them, beleaguer them, and lie in wait for them in every stratagem. But if they repent and establish regular prayers and practice regular charity, then open the way for them. For Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. So, again, fight and slay the pagans wherever you find them. Wherever you find them. Why I I underline this wherever you find them? Because of this. Let's go back to the news. Right? Let's go back to the news. So, attacks in UK and Austria have similarly been carried out by known wolves. On September 3rd, an ISIS supporter released from prison just 2 months earlier stabbed 7 shoppers in a New Zealand supermarket. Right? So, okay, they also find weapons. This is the thing. Okay, here you go. This Omar. So when Kevin Omar Mohammed went to Syria, when he got caught, he was arrested in Turkey actually. I believe he was arrested in Turkey, so he didn't get to Syria. His mother and brother came looking for him, and he returned to Canada after only a few weeks. But he then took to social media to call for attacks in Western countries, writing, "Strike the kuffar, the non-believers, in their homes. Strike the kuffar in their homes." So, the same. He just follow this. Fight and slay the pagans wherever you find them. Right? What he was following actually Surah At-Tawbah verse 5. Let us continue. Surah At-Tawbah verse 23. Believers, do not take your fathers and brothers as allies if they prefer disbelief to faith. Those of you who do so are doing wrong. Abdul Halim make it easier to understand. That's what I like about Abdul Halim, but sometimes not very good. This Yusuf Ali. O you who believe, take not for protectors your fathers and your brothers if they love infidelity above faith. If any of you do so, they do wrong. So you cannot, if your brothers and father believe in different God or believe different thing, then you gotta stop that association with them. You cannot be associated with them. That's what it is. There's a lot of Quranic verses and hadith are very clear in giving direction what to do about the Jewish, the Christians, the pagans, even the atheists. So now we read about the pagans, we read about the disbelievers. Right? Now, Surah At-Tawbah, verse 29. Fight those who do not believe in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they are people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. If you read Abdul Halim, a little bit, he's changing the words a little bit. Well, a lot. Who do not obey the rule of justice until they pay the tax and agree to submit. If people who do not know Islam read this, they're like, oh, okay. But if you read this by Abdul Halim, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they're people of the book, which is Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. This, the wording is more correct, more correct than what Abdul Halim giving us. Abdul Halim is good because the English easier to understand. It's like Sahih International. But the meaning, they change a lot of wordings just to make it. Uh, they water it down basically. But that's not the real meaning. Right? Islam is very harsh towards the people of the book, even. So we have read so far how Allah encouraged Muslims to punish and kill the pagans, the disbelievers, people of the book, Jews and Christians, and it's all like in a very harsh way. It's not in a in a nice way. That's why jihad is actually violent. It's not jihad is never with words. One more from Surah At-Tawbah, verse 73. This one is for Muhammad. O Prophet, strive hard against the unbelievers and the hypocrites, and be firm against them. Thereabout is hell, an evil refuge indeed. So if you're the unbelievers, if you are hypocrites, Christians or Jews, Muhammad was supposed to treat them harshly. Now, what about those who don't believe in anything? The atheist. We can read from Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 6922, narrated Ikrimah. Some Sanadiga, atheists, were brought to Ali and he burned them. The news of this event reaches Ibn Abbas, who said, "If I had been in his place, I would not have burned them, as Allah's messenger forbade it, saying, 'Do not punish anybody with Allah's punishment, which is fire.' I would have killed them according to the statement of Allah's messenger. Whoever changed his Islamic religion, kill him." So, some atheists were brought to Ali, and Ali killed them by burning them. Ibn Abbas said, Allah's messenger forbade it. Do not punish, saying, "Do not punish anyone with Allah's punishment, which is fire." Now, hadith is a little funny. This hadith saying this, but there's another hadith talking about how Allah's messenger burning a Jewish chief, a chief of some Jewish tribe, and forced him to tell Muhammad where the treasure was hid, because he hid treasure, and Muhammad wanted this treasure, but the chief refused to say it, to tell. So Muhammad burned him on his chest. But still, he was burning somebody too. So the two hadith actually contradict each other. But anyway, that hadith is for different time. Now we talk about this one. So the atheists were punished, right? How? By being burned. Being burned, that's all. So if you're the unbelievers, if you're whether you're disbelievers, you're hypocrite. Hypocrite could mean you are a Muslim, but you are different from the majority. You believe something slightly different, and then they're allowed to punish you. If you're atheist, you're Christian, you're Jewish, you're disbelievers, or you're a hypocrite, then the Quran and Hadith justify the punishment or the killing of any of the above. You know. Now, a lot of things, like Allah is behind this thing. Quran is behind this thing. Quran allowing, encouraging, not only allowing but encouraging. The verses we read from Quran, they're all in present tense. They were never in past tense. So whenever they read those verses, and many more actually, I just didn't show, and many more verses. So at any time the verses being read, but it seems like present always, you know, it was never uh, past tense, right? So always present tense. So if they read it tomorrow, okay, they feel some Muslims will feel the need to do it, to do jihad that day. You understand what I mean? Because it's not a past tense. If it's a past tense, then you can say, okay, they can say, oh yeah, that's that time only. This time is different. But because it's only in present tense, so it means the jihad never ends. And jihad is not with words, trust me. Jihad is always fight until you kill or be killed. That's what jihad is. So this kind of thing is like spreading hate. This is what I think. This spreading hate, this giving it more, heat to the differences between people. Maybe some people, they don't believe with your God. They don't believe your God. So what? You can tell them, but you cannot force them because and especially you cannot punish them for not believing your God. If I believe in Jesus or I believe in Yahweh, and then you believe in Buddha, and then I can tell you, oh, maybe you should believe in Jesus, because of this. But I cannot force you to believe in Jesus, especially killing you, because God is love. If God is hate, and then we perhaps can force people to believe in our God. Well, that's all from me. I thought I just want to give um, let you know about this news just came in this morning about this guy who I worked with last year. And I do regret I didn't have enough time to debate with him. I wish I'd had enough time. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe he could change. But this Canadian, like RCMP, they can put him into a prison how many times, But because it's the book he follow, So he cannot change that. He can change what is within him, but the book is not within him. The book is outside from him. The book is always there because in, this is what he believes, though he cannot change. The only thing we can do actually is to make him not believe in his book by debating him. If he doesn't believe the book anymore, then he could change. But as long he believes in the same book, he will never change. This is the problem. Well, thank you for listening. That's all from me. For those who believe in God of love, God bless you. And for those who believe in God of hate, God bless you. Have a nice life.